all the front living room fifth wheels I've ever seen, this might be my favorite. Welcome everybody. Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Jayco once again. And I don't know how I did not get you updated footage of this model last year. I think we probably just sold out of them every time I tried. Because this thing deserves its day in the sun every single year. The Flurb, if you will, the FLRB. When this came out, it was the first of these like flipped around weird backwards front living rooms with this power double smart TV televator insanity nonsense that I absolutely don't need, but I love just because it's so wacky and crazy and cool. But it's more than just a gimmick. It provides some unique aspects to a front living room that they don't normally provide. It can create a little bit more of a privacy wall. And that's kind of the cool thing about a front living room. It requires the RV to be very, very large, but it creates separate living room and kitchen and bedroom and bathroom and half bath in this case right here, because this is a bath and a half with a giant, amazing ensuite off an elevated rear luxury fifth wheel bedroom, because below that is a second huge pass-through storage cavity, a third huge pass-through storage cavity, and one of the best outdoor camp kitchens that I think pretty much exists on the market today, and not even on a bunkhouse where you normally find them. Now, last year, North Point went wide body. This is the standard exterior. They do offer 3 different paint package options, 6-point hydraulic leveling, twice the propane as anybody else on board, heavy-duty weather package, of course, anti-lock braking, electronic anti-sway, better tires, great running gear, just a laundry list of other awesome things. Like I said, I've seen a lot of them. This might be my favorite front living, but I'd be curious to know what you think as we go through today. All right, I swear we got about 4,000 bajillion square foot of ground to cover, so let's get cooking over here. We walk right in, like right now I'm basically standing on the steps as though you just came out of the bedroom, but the entry door is just to my right. So you walk right into the middle kitchen here, and this is one of the things where that wacky double-sided power televator, it can create a little bit more of a separated division of kitchen and living room, which most front livings or front kitchens don't really do. Now, the TV on this side's a little bit smaller. If you wanted to size that up, you could. I think it's probably fine for this room, but that's my opinion, and it might be your RV, so outfit it however you kind of please right there. Your campsite window coverage on this is just over the top awesome, because one of the things is having this slide right here. You're surrounded by windows, and not just your campsite window coverage, but your frontal viewing capacity off this fifth wheel is really, really good, because you have all the slide side front windows and of course the front windshield as well. Now, if you notice, looking like a throne up here, if you're playing Game of Thrones in your North Point, the theater seat is actually on an elevated step. That's because it's literally above the fifth wheel kingpin, and that's all the extra structural aspects down there below it that are required to keep the RV from frame buckling apart when you're going down the road. Now, one of the things that's also really cool, you have an elevated living room and bedroom. So the barreled ceiling and the whisper ducted air, because you're so close to this stuff, is actually really, really nice. And to give you an idea for how much room you have up here, I always like to kind of just, do my own stunts and put myself on the line. Now, notice I'm not trying to cheat and only stand in the middle of this thing next to the Jumbotron beside me over here. I can stand all the way over against the sidewall, never hit my head on this thing. I think your upper deck sidewall starts at like 6'3". I don't have the hard measurement, but it vaults up. I keep saying vault, barrels up like another 5 inches or something. So if you're a bigger person, a lot of fifth wheels don't fit you in the upper deck. This one might. Now, finishing around the living room here, you've got that little floating cushion top ottoman. I guess you could use as an extra bench. It does have that little mechanical pop top on it, so if you want to use it for some storage, you can. I would love it if they could somehow create an opportunity to make this desk space. But the thing is, what you don't realize, because of all that upper deck structure that's required, these sofas are not actually normal sofas. You see how the slide floor stops a good 6 inches before the sofa goes down? And then it technically has a false face on it. So you can't really turn that into a desk because you wouldn't have leg room. You wouldn't have, unless you wanted to stick your legs straight out, which probably wouldn't be super duper comfortable. You've got both day and night blackout roller shades on these. And something else I discovered, maybe it was here last year, maybe I forgot about it. I'm not even sure. But it used to be the only switch for that power televator was located basically down in the kitchen. Of course, now I can't find the switch over my shoulder here. Oh my gosh, Becky, look at her butt. There we go. So you can sit right here, and it's actually pretty easy to reach, but when you're running a camera and looking at it, it gets a little more difficult. So it's sort of there when you want it, gone when you don't, which I think is kind of nice. Now, if you feel like this little footrest storage ottoman's sort of in the way, just get rid of it. And when you're traveling, you actually stack it on top of one of the hide-a-beds, and then there's a little strap where you strap it down in place. The theater seat that I'm sitting in, by the way, it is a power recliner. And if you're like, oh man, it's got one of those hard armrests in the middle. Well, good news for you. This armrest is removable. So if you're looking for more of a cuddalicious love seat, you have that opportunity as well. Why does cuddalicious sound like a song that would be made by the Black Eyed Peas? I don't know. Anyway, never mind that. One of the things I really strive to do in my videos is to try to provide you with the realest look of this thing that I possibly can. What that means is a little bit subjective, but a couple things. These hide-a-beds, by default, the legs don't quite stick down far enough. The thing is, it's because they're shipped from a supplier one way. You see the little pins in those legs? Those can be pulled out and extended so that the foot end of this doesn't look sad. But you notice there is a little bit of a gap in the middle. Now that this is a wide body RV, it doesn't fold out into one giganto mega bed like Voltron Defender of the Universe. So the legs can be adjusted. You can walk through it, but you got to find a place for the cushions. And that floating ottoman, you have to kind of move somewhere. Now, I foolishly wrestled and pressed it up against the theater seat on that little bit of a ledge. Being the idiot that I am, I should have just looked and went, hey, look, dummy, there's a nice big chunk of space right there for it where you don't have to fight the stupid thing. But no, I'm dumb and I didn't do it that way. So don't do what I did. Oh God, my leg almost buckled. You ever walk down a flight of stairs and you think there's one more step than there actually is? I just did that and my leg just about crumbled. Like when you see somebody jump on something they think is a trampoline and then it's not, you're like, ooh, that sucked. All right, back downstairs. Kitchen. We have very limited kitchen counter space. Again, trying to be very real. Most of this kitchen counter space is currently occupied by the North Point propaganda poster right here. This is also one of those 5-piece smart sinks. Just all the little widgets and whiz bangs aren't out for display currently. Working our way around here. This is a 1.7 cubic foot, residential sized, air fryer, convection, electric oven, and microwave. Plus, you might notice these are all GE kitchen appliances. So just a little bit higher grade stuff, larger oven, 4-burner stove top. So you have, electric oven and propane oven, and a gigantic GE residential shock rated fridge. I want to mention shock rated because not every residential fridge belongs in an RV, and this one is designed to be able to handle the rigors of road use. Cool thing about this, it does have that water dispenser and ice maker. Now, some people don't love this. Some people don't like to have a bathroom right off the kitchen. Some people will say, hey, I don't want to crap where I eat. There's actually pretty decent space in there. Despite how tight it looks, it's not bad. I've had folks since day one where the flurb was released ask, is there a butler pantry option if I don't want the half bath? Could they make that the laundry? Could they do something else with it? In theory, there's the space here to do it, but they don't offer that. So I don't know. I guess keep that in mind. Let me swing you around this direction. I want to mention how the window in the entry door actually does have a blackout privacy shade. I just don't have that deployed currently. Let's look at the little dining table bar buffet scenario here. First of all, because it doesn't run wall to wall, they put I guess you call it like atrium windows around this thing, just huge, huge windows on here. Again, the campsite and the forward viewing angles on this are pretty awesome. But what if we have guests? Well, that table can open up as much or as little as you want, and fully extended here absolutely leaves plenty of room for 4 adults, which a lot of RV dining is not for adult sized. Frankly, I've noticed my local Mexican restaurant, I think, has been shrinking its tables. Either that or I've been eating at my local Mexican restaurant too much, and I'm expanding my midsection. I actually think it's the second one and not the first. Ooh, rough spot for the converter, because when the slides are closed, you have no way to get to this thing. So I guess take note of that, folks. Central vacuum system down there below. You've got both the kind of suckerator collector hookup point as well as the electric dustpan, the little toe kick and flick method, where you can just kind of vacuum everything up. Now, at a glance, you look at this, you're like, it doesn't have a pantry. That whole like kitchen living room divider wall, I think truly is a pantry, and it goes high enough that I think it counts. Plus, you see all this shelving in here, both sides of the microwave. It's adjustable and or removable, so you can do a little bit of whatever you want with it. I really appreciate the symmetry on either side of the stove and oven station as well. And sometimes it's the fine details I discover when I open stuff up, like the soft close, drawer cabinetry. It is dovetail constructed, but also that little utensil separator organizer built right into that drawer there. That is something I appreciate. Of course, it has to fall just short of the soft close function, so I look like an absolute clown. But to be fair, I think I do enough of making myself look like an absolute clown on my own. Now, when it comes to North Point kitchens, I want to kind of teach you how to fish on something. Basically, below the sink, anytime you see this double drawer configuration, that's telling you that if you want to remove those drawers, it actually is dishwasher prepped. That's just something that Jayco does down in that area. This island is a little bit smaller than some of the others. We might want to verify that this isn't one floor plan where it is exceptional and that it does not include dishwasher prep. By the way, that cutting board right there above the garbage can, that's actually removable, which I think is kind of cool. The other thing is you see the slot on it. Not only could it operate like a handle, but if you're doing veggie prep time, you can just sort of, scrape your carrot tops down in there and get rid of them and be good to go. I think there's a lot of people that would like to scrape carrot top and get rid of them, but actually I always enjoyed a good prop comedy dad joke. I'm sure that will come as an epic surprise to you. I always forget to open this. Apologies. I just want to do this while we're sitting here. Couple things this can do. Oh, that's cool. These shelves can fold up, and if you want to, you can kind of create a little storage cavity down there. Now, they do have a magnet latch to hold themselves up. I didn't demonstrate that just now. But if you want to kind of convert that into a broom closet or just like a little coat hanging closet, it creates a cool little opportunity space to make that happen. This is also a really good opportunity to show you the revised heating system that Jayco put into all of their fifth wheels. You still have the heat ducting, the heat plenum, the heat run in the floor. The actual exhaust ducting comes out the cabinet side. So you're still getting the warmer floor feel on bare feet, but you're also you're getting rid of the Skittle collectors on the floor and the meat slicers, because I swear some RVs, their floor heat duct covers, if you're walking on that thing barefoot, it's going to feel like you're stepping on a deli meat slicer at the supermarket. RV king bed or true queen options available. This also easy lift with storage below. And in case you're curious, it's not easy to see when the bed's there, but both sides of the bed actually do have some household outlets that are inverter powered, not even inverter prepped. Because of the refrigerator on this RV, all North Points already ship with an inverter on them. Now, if you're laying in bed, you would actually have your head up a little bit closer to the sidewall. I'm tired and I didn't want to take my shoes off again today, so I just left them dangling off the edge of the bed because I have a no shoes on the bed policy, no shoes on the furniture policy, as it were. Smart TV straight across from the bed right here. Every TV you see in this is going to be factory standard, and the storage you get in this bedroom is actually pretty great. Well, I should qualify. I should say if you tend to camp with more folding clothes than hanging clothes, because in your bedroom itself, that is your only actual hanging closet. Now, just over here in the bathroom, you see that big double door thing right there. That's a huge potential hanging closet, but that's also washer dryer prep. So you might lose that. Now, over 98% of people are not going to install a washer dryer, so that won't be a problem. But for everybody else, that could be a significant issue. So again, I just want to be fair. I want to make sure I point this stuff out. Once again, the same drawer construction, that dovetailed drawer construction. Jayco actually does that in-house. I've got my feet in goofy position, straight off to the side here, trying to keep them out of your way. My apologies right there. You also see the little USB charging plugs and whatnot over there. That could be really handy where if you install a camera observation suite system, there's one that you can install above the door to kind of use like a little bit of a security monitor. And sliding through that, well, sliding doorway, this is that big closet I was telling you about. The big bundles of stuff we're looking at, these are your folding guest chairs. You could probably store them under the bed. I think there's probably enough room to do that there if you want. This is prepped for either a combo or stackable washer dryer, or it's just a huge extra chunk of storage. Something you can't see as overtly. You see that little shelf runner right there? There is those magnetic shelves we looked at in that closet. There's a giant version of it back here where this can fold down to create yet another potential shelf space. My only gripe with this space is I feel like it needs a light inside of it so that I can better see what I'm doing there. Now, sliding my way around here, one of the cool things that I like about North Points, just like I demonstrated back in the living room, the upper deck space in this is awesome. So quick peek at me there in the shower, absolutely zero headroom issues whatsoever. And North Points will go ahead and install stuff that a lot of other brands only prep for, like the folding shower seat. Now, Pinnacle goes another level above. The things that North Point preps for, Pinnacles tend to just include like a dishwasher in the kitchen, Pinnacles will just kind of do that stuff. What the heck did I think my back touched the on-demand water heater controller, and it's going like, "Hey, what are you trying to do?" Scared the crap out of me, because all of a sudden, like I didn't know if I stepped on a cat or what it was. But look, this just the visual, the corner symmetry, which is a rare thing that you to encounter in the RV industry. I think it just looks awesome. I love all the indirect lighting down here. The space around this toilet is great. I always kind of want to just rest my arm up on that countertop right there. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're going to set up shop for a while and be in the space, that might be something you want to consider doing right there. Not sure, but overall, I really like the space. Let me actually kind of back up just to give you a little bit of the flow of it all right there. All right, I'm not going to spend a lot of time about, what kind of vehicle and in this scenario. Basically, this thing's massive. You want a dually. And in my opinion, that's pretty much it. Your opinion may differ. That's okay. That's just my 2 cents. I like that they went back to just throwing Jayco across the front of this, because I think it means something. And here's something a lot of customers don't know. Not every RV company operates this way, but when you're a Jayco dealer, you carry all of the Jaycos. There's other companies like, Forest River Keystone. There's nothing wrong with them or anything like that, but you pick and choose which pieces of their lineup you want to sell at your dealership. And as a result, they don't usually just say Keystone across the nose. Although, ironically, now that I say that, I actually think they are changing over to something like that. But you're seeing more brand recognition. I think the RV industry realized that, like, Ford and GM and all them, they put their brand name on the front of every single one of the vehicles they make so that people can learn some brand identity and see success out there. So it makes sense to me that it's listed out there. You've got that enclosed docking center. It's a little bit dark right now, but thankfully you've got motion lighting all over the place in this thing. You start reaching in here, it kicks right on. You reach into your storage compartment, and a choir of angels sings. That right there is your factory standard inverter to keep that fridge running going down the road. 3-stage water filtration system on there as well. And I know I'm moving quick, but it's very, very late here, and I know my videos run long enough as it is. Notice the propane tanks. I don't even know how well this is translating to camera, but if you've been paying attention, you've already seen 3 propane tanks instead of 2, like you normally expect on a lot of RVs. What you may not have also realized is that they're larger. Instead of dual 30-pound tanks, this rocks triple 40-pound tanks. So if you're doing the math, 120 pounds of propane. Double the onboard propane factory standard here on North Points and Pinnacles from your Jayco lineup. Very, very uncommon quality. Now, once again, this is the base exterior look, and I do think it looks sharp. But if you want a full paint package, they have several of those also available. The front end up here is either huge because it's a giant drop frame area, but you can get it gen prepped. You can also get a factory generator installed. It's up to you. Now, when we talk ride and handling on a big sucker like this, it starts to really matter. That's why right from the factory, they put a little nicer shock dampening pin box on there. They've got that MORryde shackle system on their suspension. They also have, greasable wet bolt fasteners so you can keep it up and running the way that, you want it to for long-term ownership. They also are running those larger Cooper H-rated tires. The whole idea being that you make it to your destination with a problem-free philosophy, Hakuna Matata. And on that note, that's also why I think it was last year they standardized the Dexter Tow Assist system. If you're not familiar with that, it's both anti-lock braking and electronic anti-sway, neither of which the average RV has, both of which are factory standard here. This is also prepped and ready for a full observation camera suite. Now, real quick, let's talk about the green lightsaber light going on that awning right there. This has a remote-controlled multicolored awning, so it doesn't have to be green. You want it to be red or cerulean or just a plain old white, you can do that too. Now, up top here, we're seeing another optional item. We're actually seeing the, I think that's the Overlander 2 solar package. So 400 watts of solar up top, plus all the other things that go along with it. We can get you details on all that, either through our team or, off the Jayco website. But the thing here is North Points and Pinnacles are generally designed with the expectation of park camping use. If you want to take them boondock off-gridding, you can add some things to them to make them more capable of that. But by default, that's really not what they're intended to do. Now, I want to kind of clock them for having that slide out under that front awning right there. But then I back up a little bit, and I see that you have this whole second awning completely unimpeded. And I don't know that I need to clock them for that awning. I think that awning's doing just fine. But check this out. This is pass-through cavity number 2 of 3. This one goes full side to side. I specified that way because the back one actually goes from back to the side. But the amount of cargo space you have on this is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. And look where they put the outside speakers. Right down here at ground level at your little patio party station where you're going to spend the majority of your time. They've done it. Now, this Halo griddle system thing they have right here, from what I understand, talking to people that have actually used them, it's probably one of the best factory supplied outdoor RV grills and cooking scenarios that is out there on the marketplace today. It's certainly larger, but it has a better wind screen system on it so that, your flames don't get blown out, because RV propane systems are a low pressure, low flow. So with the case of most RV grills, griddles, whatever, if you can blow out the candles on a happy birthday cake, you could blow out the flame on the factory supplied grill, cooker, whatever. Not going to be able to do that here. You're going to have to be in a situation where you're probably not going to be out grilling anyway. So we're getting a little bit of a look on the back end here of pass-through cavity number 3. Again, it goes from back to the side, so it's a little bit of a junk in the trunk storage situation. We also have, despite the size of this, North Point goes, go ahead and put the receiver hitch and the tow package on it anyway. So it's got the wiring and the safety chains, because basically North Point does and instead of or. I think is about the best way that I can say it. So thank you, folks, once again for spending some time with me here. I know my videos run long and I talk a lot. I don't know if I've even touched on half the things there is to talk about on this RV. North Points and Pinnacles are extremely detail-focused RVs with a lot of stuff to go on. I want to give you the general idea. If you want to investigate a little further, contact our team. If you're just curious or serious about a price tag, check the links in the video description where I'll have those listed out for you. I'll also try to dig out maybe some other North Points or Pinnacles or other front living rooms or something like that that I can leave for you if you want to do some cross comparison right from the comfort of your couch, basically. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.